By the way, you mentioned Ben as a founder and the culture he established, Ben Lambert, for
Yep.
those who might not know. You had the challenge that I've seen a lot of people falter with, which is you not only succeeded a legend, the legend was there at the same time, and the legend was the founder. Why do some people fail at that, do you think? And others, you most notably, have succeeded wildly in that regard.
Well, I think to start with, you needed someone like a Ben Lambert, who's a compassionate, caring human being that had a great vision. And I often joke about the fact that, he knew exactly what time, who printed the train schedule, and he figured out when to be at the train stop exactly when the train would show up. And ultimately, he recognized that the real estate industry was changing from a locally financed, locally tenanted, locally developed industry into something that would be regional, national, and ultimately global. And so from his perspective, you kind of had to develop things within in his mind, an investment banking format to distinguish yourself. And, it's not necessarily higher thinking, but it's different thinking in terms of how to approach, a particular situation. And he was, by nature, was just a warm, gregarious, charismatic, bigger than life type of personality. And
It's
so,
funny you say that, and I was telling you I was writing a little piece up on Ben, and I knew him well. I can't ever remember him not smiling. Now, I'm sure you saw times,
yeah,
but I truly could not remember Ben other than smiling
yeah,
or laughing.
yeah. Well, and and all the credit goes to him. And when I look around, candidly, anything that I've accomplished, in as modest terms as they may be, it's his DNA is in everything that we do as a firm and everything that I do as a human being. So, and we had a very unique situation. And it wasn't. It was less about how did I handle myself, but how did he handle himself. And I remember, back in 1994 when things changed and we bought ourselves back from Nomura and we became a full-blown partnership as opposed to what I call a benevolent dictatorship prior to that. It was only as a result of his willingness to kind of acknowledge that that was the way that we were going to hold the firm together, is by being a partnership and really legitimately being a partnership and allowing, in essence, the team to be part of something bigger, and having ownership in the company meant a great deal, but it also needed to be something more than nominal. So it was, his allowing that to happen. It was a necessity at the time because we didn't have anything to offer people other than ownership. There was no money. And so you kind of had to give them something to participate in and feel part of. And at the end of the day, when I kind of look back in when we then got to the later 90s, and with the Wells Fargo transaction wouldn't have had happened without his 30-year relationship there. And so as I thought about us as a family culture, a collegial culture, I would often think, well, the way we actually treat Ben is the way we want to be treated. And anybody looking at someone who maybe was just over a little bit on the shadier side of their career, versus the base and sunny side of their career, that how we dealt with him. Not only did he deserve it as a founder, but he deserved it as a human being, is where I ultimately came out on it. And so I would look at it early years and say, well, how do I want to be treated when I get to that stage, which is where I am today. And then I ultimately evolved to, what does he deserve, and how does he deserve to be treated as a founder and someone who gave his entire life to making sure these opportunities were available to us. So it was a pretty easy deal. And again, you've heard me say it. We were for 43 years. We didn't always agree on everything, but we never had a crossword or an argument. And we always, came to the same outcome, and I'd say it was 50-50 in terms of perspectives oftentimes, but it was always with respect. And we we were each other's life guides. We were each other's best friends. And at the end of the day, when you then treat the rest of your organization like that, that's the way you expect to be treated as well.